Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you can hear me, leave me a comment. Let me know this is all working well. We're kind of testing out some slightly different hardware setup on all this. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. A lot of news happening in the world of cord cutting we're going to talk about here. But if you are watching this on replay every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, we are now live here for about an hour or so. I really do appreciate everybody coming in, joining me every Wednesday here. And thanks for understanding that I was gone last week. We're back this week. We're back next week. And as we get ready for the unofficial start of summer, Memorial Day is almost here. We're very excited about that. But a lot's happened in the world of cord cutting. WB had their upfront today. Learned a couple interesting things. The ad-supported plan for Max, which is the newly renamed service HBO Max, is becoming just Max. We'll only have 3 to 4 minutes of commercials per hour, not 3 to 4 minutes of commercials per break per hour, which is pretty cool. We also learned that Adult Swim coming this fall will start in the 6 o'clock hour as they're moving Adult Swim even earlier, which is kind of interesting because they just moved it up to the 7 p.m. hour. Now they're going to move Adult Swim up to the 6 p.m. hour. I know with that, a lot of people reported that increasingly the age of Cartoon Network's audience, and not just Cartoon Network, but pretty much all kids' networks, is increasingly 18 and older. It seems like this may be a move to address that. We also had a ton of other news. Comcast is encrypting some over-the-air channels. And WOW Cable this week announced that they are shutting down their traditional cable TV service and going streaming only in a partnership with YouTube TV. You'll no longer be able to be a cable TV customer through WOW. So a whole lot of news happening. Let's talk all things cord cutting. Good to have everybody here. Sean, Dean, NYC, Chris, Juan, Mike, Nate, Robert. So many people here. It's great to see you here. Yes, Twitter was giving me a little bit of grief. I held to my guns. I knew what I heard. I knew what I saw. I was at the event. And very quickly, we were able to confirm that with Warner Brothers a second time, and some other people confirmed it. Kind of surprised more news organizations didn't cover that. When it was announced they were moving to 7, a lot of companies covered it. But yeah, so, I'll be honest with you. I'm very careful what I post. Yes, we make mistakes. We are human beings here at Cord Cutters News. Sometimes there's a typo. Sometimes we mistakenly put a wrong date in or something. That happens. But we try very hard to be very careful in what we do as best we can. Are we perfect? No, we're imperfect humans, but we do our best with it. I have a software programmable radio, USB. Can you pick up OTA stations with it? I don't believe so. Most of those older radios that had the ability to listen to TV stations are the old analog standard, not the digital ones with that. Can I tell you what's happening with the Showtime announcement merging in with Paramount Plus? Yes. So earlier this year, it broke that Paramount Plus and Showtime will merge into a single streaming service, no longer be separate. Now, this has confused people because they've already offered a bundled of Paramount and Plus and Showtime for an extra price. This is actually Paramount Plus and Showtime content merging into one streaming service, which is definitely different than that. Today, I think Paramount hasn't announced this, but Apple TV did, that if you subscribe to Showtime through the Apple TV, they are letting you know that, hey, starting June, I think it said 27th, I had to pull the story up, in late June, Paramount Plus and Showtime will merge into a single service. Yes, June 27th. My memory was correct. And that at that point, they'll no longer be selling Showtime. Now, with that, we still got to get some details. We don't know what pricing that will mean. It's going to be the top tier. Are we going to get a deal? Are we going to get a discount? How exactly that's going to all happen? We just don't know. But what we do know is on June 27th, according to Apple, these two services will merge into a single service. As we learn more, we'll be definitely covering that over at Cord Cutters News. NYC, thanks for being a member of the Cord Cutters Club for 3 months. I really do appreciate it. Now that Disney, let me grab your question with that, put it up here for everybody to see. Or maybe not. Can I not grab announcements? Well, I'll just read it. Now that Disney Plus has announced that Hulu will be accessible through Disney Plus, what is the phase of Hulu with live TV? Will it stay the same or cease? So yes, Disney has announced in the last week that Hulu and Disney Plus's apps are merging. Now, the streaming services themselves will remain separate. You'll have to subscribe to both. Now, I posted a story this week about why that likely is, and it's probably because the fact that Comcast still owns about roughly a quarter, let's just roughly say 30-some%, something like that, of Hulu. So I'm sure they're getting a commission from every subscription. If they fully merge them, that means they're probably getting a commission at Disney Plus. That's not what Disney wants right now. They don't want to be giving money over to Comcast from Disney Plus. So for now, nothing's changing with Hulu Live TV. Nothing's changing with Hulu. Just what's changing here is later this year, you'll be able to access both streaming services through the Disney Plus app, regardless of where you get it. And also that probably means ESPN Plus, because ESPN Plus is already available through the Hulu app. So everything will be now available through one app with that. So we'll keep a close eye on this. Now, what that means in the long run for Hulu Plus, we don't know. It does show, and Comcast CEO did kind of hint at this, that Disney's probably not going to try to sell their share of Hulu. They're probably going to finish their contract that they have to buy the rest of Hulu from Comcast next year. Because if they weren't planning on doing that, I don't think they would be investing the resources and the money to combine the two apps. Can I get my local California NBC with Peacock? No, at this time, unlike Paramount Plus, you cannot stream live local NBC affiliates. Paramount Plus does offer you to stream local CBS affiliates through it, but not Peacock with NBC. Now, there is some stuff on there that's live that will allow you to do that, but not that. One second. Don't let this sweater fool you. Although those long sleeve shirt, it may be a little cool today, but my spring allergies are in full bloom. So I apologize for that sneeze. So if you want your local NBC, ABC, etc., you're going to want to go get, for example, the ability to either get an antenna if you can, and wherever you live, or get a live TV streaming service like you said with Hulu. Will Hulu Walmart Plus subscriptions with Paramount Plus get Showtime as well? We don't know. I would suspect not. Currently, there's a higher tier that has the bundle of Showtime and Paramount Plus. I would suspect that higher tier will be the one that's most likely to get that. I don't think the standard Paramount Plus will get it, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out sometime by probably before June 27th. We'll see. If Disney did try to sell Hulu but couldn't find a buyer, hence they're swallowing the bitter pill and will acquire the remainder of Hulu. I doubt that they couldn't find a buyer. Now, maybe they couldn't find a buyer at their price point. That's very possible. A lot of investment firms, a lot of companies would love, and even Comcast kind of hinted that they would be open to buying the remainder, their Disney share of Hulu. But we'll see. At the moment, right now, we'll see. Did I freeze? Kind of looked like I froze for a minute, but it doesn't look like I'm frozen. Leave me a comment if I froze. All right. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Whatever happened, I think it all cleared up. Sorry about that. My internet, I think I need to reboot it. But I do believe that if Disney was serious about selling Hulu, that they couldn't sell it. I do believe if they were serious about it, they could sell it if they want to. For now, though, it looks like they are not intending to sell Hulu. All right, Martin, thank you so much for being a subscriber. U2G Money, see you here in NYC. I wonder when Disney is merging with Hulu, it will have the add-ons like CinemaX. I would suspect, yes, that everything that's currently available through the Hulu app will be available through the new Disney app is what they've said. We'll have to see. We don't have a date when that's going to happen and more, but we'll see when that happens. But for now, they say everything in the Hulu app will be able to be in the Disney Plus app when that merger happens. Robert, thank you so much. Yes, we hit 220,000 subscribers earlier today. Huge. It's almost, we're coming up on 30,000 subscribers since in the last few months added to Core Cars News. 8,000 in like the last 2-3 weeks, something like that. Really do appreciate everybody's support. Your support has been huge, and I really do appreciate it. All right. Keep those questions coming. Now, if I didn't answer your question, re-ask it, because sometimes as I'm answering one question, it just kind of flies by, and I miss the next question. All right, I get CBS, Doo and Suckers Falls with YouTube and Paramount Plus. Difficult receiving free over there. I would recommend Dean going over to a website called Antenna Web, WEB, Antenna Web, like a spider web, .org, I believe it is. Go there. It's .org.com. Go there, enter your address, and it will tell you more about if you should even be possibly to receive that. Could be you just live in a bad spot to receive it, which does happen, unfortunately. What is Dish and DirecTV going to do? Very possible that they will merge. Beyond that, everything is just speculation at this time. We'll see. I do suspect that if they are going to merge, it's going to happen sooner than later, because later, with the rate that cord cutting is growing, it's just not going to be worth anything. That if they do want to merge, they're going to have to do it soon. I felt maybe we were giving grief on not only for the Adult Swim story, but they are also connected to. Yeah, so I think a lot of people. So when we posted the Adult Swim story that it will be moving to the 6 o'clock hour, a lot of people give us trouble on Twitter. Said, "Oh, that's not happening. That's fake news." And like I said, we're very, very careful in what we do. But very quickly, we finally were able to get some clarification, and other people posted supporting what we said with that. How was my vacation? Very good. It was kind of a working vacation a little bit. I was traveling and working at the same time, but like slightly less time working. It was much needed after it's been over 3 months now since I bought back Core Cars News. 3 full months now, coming in 4 months, something like that. And definitely was needed for a little battery recharge, but we did get a lot of work done. Got some of it. Thanks everybody who understood that we were had a few days last week that we did pre-recorded shows and stuff. Core Card today, we didn't do the Q&A. So thanks for asking. It was a lot of fun. Will DirecTV and Dish merge? Dish has talked openly about wanting to merge those. AT&T has kind of sidestepped the question a little bit. But no, they're not announced that they're going to merge. It's just speculation that they will merge. I don't quite understand this question. Why does Roku require the Disney Plus Trio bundle? They do not. I have just Disney Plus through it with it. I don't know what that's about. Can you give me a little bit more context? All right, being inside a building, apartment buildings are often have metal studs and different things in them. Anything metal will negatively affect your reception, sadly. Hard to say, but we'll see. When do they expect Next Gen TV to cover all Americans? It covers most Americans now, I believe, or will soon cover most Americans, but there's no date for when it will hit all of them. Any new news on the Tableau ATSC 3.0 DVR? So they announced earlier this year that they were putting the pre-orders on hold and refunding people money, and it really comes down to that DRM. ATSC 3.0 can have DRM. Some stations are already implementing it, which I think is a mistake because most core cars don't have a tuner that supports DRM yet. But they still say they're working on it. Hopefully this year we'll get some news about it, but nothing new has been announced since they announced they were putting it on hold. Well, I'm glad you like it at Martin at 6, so you can watch your AEW at 7. So actually, when I lived in Texas, for me, it's always been 7. 7 to 8 Central Time is what I did it in the past. When I moved here, I did it at 8, but it's kind of hard. I have 2 young kids. I have a 10-year-old and a 20-month-old now. And it's nice to get this done and be able to be done by 8, have some time to rest, because Wednesdays turn into a very long day for me. I start work most days around 7 a.m., and I work until who knows when. And sometimes on Wednesday, it feels like I work right up to this Q&A and go from there. So doing this at 7 works a lot better for me. I'm glad to hear it works for you. All right. If I didn't answer your question, re-ask them. All right. Yeah. All right. Outside of Crunchyroll, now that they own Funimation, did that deal actually close? I have to check in that. Do you have any other viable anime streaming services? There is one. I forget the name of it. There's a new free one that does some free ad supported stuff. If you search our website, you may find it. But yeah, there's actually not that many anime services. Funimation and Crunchyroll are it. I'll have to check if that actually closed or not. We'll have to see. With Paramount Plus merging with Showtime, how will that affect those of us that get it free with Walmart Plus? We don't know yet. We're going to have to wait and find out. As soon as we find out, we'll let you know. Do you honestly think that OTT over the top streaming, I believe that's what we call it, streaming platforms are not going to raise their prices after the competition of cable TV is gone? They could, but I don't think cable TV is going away for the next at least 5 years. And honestly, it doesn't remove competition, right? So let's say we do get rid of cable, and satellite. Let's just say they both go away. I think satellite will stay a lot longer than cable TV because there are people in rural areas that need satellite. And I know there's SpaceX and more, but I think satellite actually has a better runway in the long term than cable because of rural Americans. But let's say they go away. You think about there's like 7 live TV streaming services that are major. And then you have to add a satellite service and a cable service where you live, for example. Well, you realize you're just going down from 9 to 7 services. So that's really not eliminating a massive amount of competition from the market. You still have 7 streaming services to pick from. So I think you would have to assume that you would get down to just 2 or 3 streaming services. And then if they raise the price, it's just going to encourage other people to get into the market with it. So I don't think that streaming services are going to skyrocket. The other problem is increasingly sports are going direct to consumer through like Major League Soccer and more. With that, Major League Baseball wants to offer in-market streaming. They have a problem that they have to deal with the fact that they become too expensive. Many cord cutters are just going to go directly to, for example, in-market MLB streaming and more. We'll have to see how it all plays out. All right, here is Retro Crush. That's the other amount of the other anime service I was thinking of. JTG for life. Hope I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for grabbing that. Yes, Retro Crush is that service. Richard, I don't think they're accelerating ATSC 3.0 too fast. I think they're accelerating the rollout of the encryption too fast. With most streaming or cord cutters not able to have a device that has the encryption on it, the 2 certified on the market devices right now do not support the encryption, but will later. I really think they should have waited until this fall or maybe this time next year to bring the encryption out. We'll have to see what happens with it. I think ATSC 3.0 is great. I think it's awesome. I do disagree with the stations that are putting the data caps on right now. Not data caps, the encryption right now. Yeah, NYC sent that to me. I know there's a lot of people talking that they're getting a ton of money for that. I think it's not surprising. You think about they're doing exclusive NFL streaming with Amazon, and now they have a deal with Peacock. They're just looking for money, basically. I think that's really what comes under. Yes, Bill is right. If you are a T-Mobile customer and you missed out getting free MLB.TV, for example, it's coming back. You're going to have another window to get it for this year. Check that out. All right, so I see WoW and other cable companies are closing down. Yes, many smaller ones right now are shutting down their TV service. WoW and others have done that, their traditional cable TV service. And in case of WoW, partnering with YouTube TV. I suspect that we'll see more of that in the future. Will Bally Detroit survive? We'll have to wait and see. For now, Bally Sports' parent company, Diamond Sports, which is really Sinclair, has said they intend to keep it alive. Well, we'll see how it comes out. Hey, thank you so much. I'm glad to be back. It was kind of I wouldn't change anything, but I'm very happy to be back. Are there any other options to avoid live TV streaming services? No, right now still most sports are streamed through streaming service. So you can always get an antenna for locals and watch the local content through your antenna, but you still need a live service. 5 years from now, that could be very different. All right, let's start our non-cord cutting question of the day. So summer is here. And I took my family out for ice cream after dinner today before I did this Q&A. Went down to a local ice cream joint. And that raises a question. What is your ice cream go-to for the summer when you go to an ice cream store? What is your favorite ice cream? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I want to know what your favorite ice cream is when you go to a local ice cream store. Or maybe it's a chain. Maybe you're going to Dairy Queen. Leave me a question. Leave me a comment. Let me know. I'll love to hear from you. Yes, at the end of this month, I have to check in if it's for all markets. Indiana Jones is coming to Disney Plus, the Indiana Jones collection. Brums, there is some very good ice cream. Now, that maybe I should have been clear. Not where you go, but what ice cream do you get? Chocolate, whatever. Brums is good. I'm from Michigan, so Hudsonville ice cream is where my go-to. But when I lived in Texas and when I lived in Missouri, Brums was a favorite of mine to get good ice cream. A lot of mint chocolate chips, cookie and cream. Now, I have a confession. I'm a soft vanilla kind of guy. Give me soft vanilla and a sugar cone. That's kind of my thing. I love the sugar cone. I think I have to restart my modem. Every now and then I have to do that. I actually think I'm not really sure what's causing it, but every now and then I have to just do a full reset of my internet. And I think after this Q&A, I'm going to be doing that. All right, mint chocolate chips pop up a lot. Michigan pothole. Oh, yes. There's somebody who lives in Michigan that understands good ice cream. Rocky Road. Yeah, a lot of good ice cream places. Can you see owners like CBS, for example, just put all their content live content to stream on Paramount? Now, locals are already streaming on Paramount Plus. Could I see that happening in the future? Sure. Not in the near term, but maybe sooner than we would expect, to be honest with you. We'll have to see. Ooh, homemade ice cream. That's always good. I wish I had time for that. Peppermint mint. So many ice cream out there. If I didn't answer your cord cutter related question, leave me a comment. Let me know. I will do my best to answer it as we look at all this great. Richard says he has been a subscriber to Cord Cutters News since the first time around. Well, thanks for staying a subscriber. I really do appreciate it. Oh, here's another good cord cutting related question we could do for today. What's everybody's favorite Indiana Jones movie? Now that's coming to Disney Plus. What's your favorite Indiana Jones movie? Leave me a comment. Let me know. You know, it's been so long. I honestly don't have a particular favorite Indiana Jones movie. But I have a confession. The most recent one that came out, and I can't remember its name, I didn't see it. I was going to see it when it came out streaming. I don't go to movie theaters much. You know, it's probably been a few years, honestly, since I've been in one, maybe even before 2020. But I meant to watch it, and I just never watched it. Maybe I should when it hits Disney Plus. A lot of people are saying Last Crusade. That is a good one. All right. Homemade ice cream is not hard. It's not hard. It's time consuming. When you have 2 young kids and run Cord Cutters News, time is more important sometimes. Will the content available on Discovery Plus be available on Max? Yes, they say all of their content will be available through the Max service. Now, Discovery Plus will still be there if you want a cheaper option, but they said again today that all their content will be on Max. All right, HEB. I found the Texas person. Everybody, if you live in Texas, HEB is the place. I live in the Midwest, so we have Meijer, and Meijer is kind of HEB of the greater Midwest, centered from my old hometown, Grand Rapids, Michigan. All right. I have a Panasonic TV with a Roku controller. I was going to get Disney Plus and Hulu bundle. when I did that, Disney Plus did not work. I would say if you're having trouble signing up through your Roku for that bundle, sign up at the website and then log into your Disney Plus account to access your content there. I can see Nickelodeon switch all their content over to Paramount Plus. Very well could happen. Honestly, it would not surprise me if kids programs are some of the earlier ones to shut down. Now, it's interesting there because kids programming does get high dollar advertising revenue, but increasingly we are seeing that kids content. Sorry, a big dog just walked by out my window. Somebody's for someone there. I thought they were walking by themselves, and then no, the owner got them on a long leash. So kids content gets a lot of advertising revenue, but increasingly the kids content is people 18 and older. I will be restarting my modem directly after this Q&A, and I do apologize about the low quality of this stream. I should have restarted it before the Q&A, and I thought about it, and then I got busy and didn't do it, which is weird because it says I have a good speed, but every now and then I have to restart it, or it does this, where it just goes a little slow. I do enjoy the classic shows too there. The one thing I wish is Disney. One show, and maybe I'm self-serving here a little bit because I went to this camp, but the original Bug Juice episodes, I would love that if that would be on there. All the 90s Disney shows, I wish they were all there. Bug Juice is one of them that is not. All right. Why are so many shows missing on Paramount Plus? Rotation, I bet. Some of it's licensed off. Some of the older stuff, probably like the Bug Juice episodes I was talking about, the original from the 90s and early 2000s, are ones that maybe they don't have streaming rights. Remember, just because it airs on Disney channel or it airs on Nickelodeon doesn't mean that when it was originally aired there that Nickelodeon produced it. Sometimes those are outsourced ones that they buy rights to. Well, in the 90s, no one thought to buy rights to streaming, right? So now they'd have to go back and renegotiate that, get the rights to streaming. So we'll see how that all plays out. How do people upgrade from Discovery Plus to Max? Well, you can just cancel your Discovery Plus and subscribe to Max is one way. I don't know if they're going to have a direct system to upgrade your existing account to Max. But like I said, you can always just cancel and then upgrade if you so choose. Yep, Netflix is cracking down on many things, including VPNs and more with that. They've been cracking down on VPNs for a long time, and it's kind of a whack-a-mole game. They'll crack down on VPNs. VPNs will find a workaround. They'll crack down on them. They'll find a workaround. This probably never will end. But I will say that technology to detect VPNs and crack down on them is becoming significantly better. And that's the other thing, Nickelodeon, NYC, you're right. They did import shows from other countries and more. It's very common. They do that to this day. PJ Masks, I think the Disney Channel show, was it French? It was another company that had it at first. They got the rights to it. And then I think Disney may have bought it. I'm really not sure exactly the whole details with it all. But yeah, so it's not unusual, especially in the 90s, that a lot of networks may buy rights to air it, but don't necessarily own a show they're airing. All right, will Hulu and Disney Plus app all in one be more expensive? No, nothing's changing with the plans. They're very clear that the plans will remain the same. Of course, pricing can always change, but that what's changing here is you'll be accessing it all through a single app. At this time, there's no difference in that. Yeah, Disney imported Bluey. That's another good one with that too. A lot of shows, like I said, are just not aired there. And that's why a lot of the older content, Babylon 5 for a long time was hard to stream because of contract issues, whatever. It was owned by a defunct network. It's complicated. Ben 10 is leaving HBO Max. You're right. A lot of content's being rotated out of HBO Max. I don't know where it's going, though. Are they licensing it off to Netflix, for example, or Amazon, Or are they going to put it on with their partnership with Tubi and the Roku channel? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see where it ends up. Comcast is kind of has made it clear that they intend to sell. So Comcast and Disney agreed to a contract a few years ago that gave Disney full control over Hulu. That Comcast turned over the board seats to Disney. This happened when Disney bought Fox. Disney owns like 70% of, rough numbers, 70% of Hulu. Fox owns about 30% left. I think it may be like 33%, something in that range. I could look it up, but off the top of my head, that's why I'm remembering. And what's happening here is they struck a deal when they agreed to turn over their board seats to Disney that Disney come next year would buy the remaining share of it. And Comcast has basically said, we intend to enforce that contract. So it's not, I believe that Comcast actually wants to sell it to them, to be honest with you. I paid $94 for Hulu, and all I watch is the Golf Channel, ABC, and CBS. You may want to look at like YouTube TV or Sling TV with an antenna if you live in an area with an antenna. Somebody correct me. I can't remember off the top of my head. Does Sling TV have the Golf Channel? If so, that may be a significantly cheaper way if you live in an area where you can get your locals with an antenna. Disney did mention, yes, that they do intend to raise the price of Disney Plus. They made it clear that they thought they undervalued Disney Plus at launch. And I agree. A lot of services do this. I hate how they do it. They'll release a service below cost where they're losing money on each subscriber to try to get a ton of subscribers, then slowly increase the price to be profitability. Bob Iger basically said that was a mistake and that they may be raising it again. We'll see. Do I watch the CW shows? Honestly, I have not in a while. I was very excited to see that Babylon 5's reboot was supposedly go there. Right now, it looks like it's all on hold. We'll wait and see. Sling does have the Golf Channel in the sports package. So get the Blue Channel, the $5 add-on sports one, 5 or 10, whatever it is. For $50 at worst, with an antenna for your locals, you can get all that significantly cheaper than what you're paying now. All you're watching is your locals on the Golf Channel. That's a significantly cheaper way to do it. All right, about 15 more minutes we'll do this. I'll probably go at about 7:50 or so. Then I'll help get the kids in bed and all that tonight. So let's get that going. Get your questions. If I didn't answer your question, re-ask it. Hey, Jeff, apparently if you want Sling, you have to get the sports add-on with it. I thought they had it. And people are telling me the sports add-on is what you need with Sling. Here is one too. Also, if you have Spectrum Internet, they do have a Spectrum Essentials, which is a cheap streaming service that I don't know if it has the Golf Channel. It does have local channels on it, so keep that in mind. Tubi has been putting their own original content. Yeah, they actually been announcing quite a few original programs recently. And they are increasingly, like the Roku channel and more, creating original programming. It'll be interesting to see if Pluto TV gets into a lot of originals. We'll see what happens. Mickey, I don't know off the top of my head. I would Google that question. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think they may have announced recently their fall schedule. You may want to Google to see if I think I saw a press release pop up that they announced their fall schedule. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of another network with that. New WK3R, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on those. I would have to research them. They sound like IPTV services, to be honest with you. All right. Let's get those questions in if you have not, and I will do my best to answer them. Do you know if AT&T customers that get HBO Max with their plans will still get it after this? I believe so. From what I've been told is yes. Basically, if you have HBO Max currently, it will rotate over. The catch here is if you will at any time change your AT&T wireless plan, you will lose those. So keep that in mind. Thank you, everybody. Yes, so new mic, actually running this through a different computer. I have the same webcam. I'm going to try to do some stuff with this webcam to see if I can get better lighting, see what I can do. And I do have a new Canon. This is usually at the office. I took this with me and haven't been to the office this week because I've had people here working and I've had some physical therapy and different things to do. But this is a camera that can be used as a webcam. I'm thinking about trying to set that up in here to do it as my webcam for these, but I have to play around with that. It just works off the USB for it. So USB will automatically turn that into a webcam. There have been a lot of rumors. You're right that Babylon 5 may be picked up by Max. I sure hope so. I would subscribe to Max in a heartbeat for that. And I froze, I think. I think I froze there for a minute, but I was saying that I would subscribe to HBO Max in a heartbeat if it would, the Babylon 5 would come there. MobiT. I'm not familiar with it. I probably missed that. I'll look into it. Since Warner Brothers Discovery has a deal with AEW Wrestling, could you see them putting AEW specials on the CW? It could be, but remember, Nexstar owns a majority of the CW now. Warner Brothers Discovery sold a majority control of it, and Nexstar actually even has an option at some point in the future to buy the remaining shares of CBS and Warner Brothers Discovery. So I would probably see them maybe putting that on other services. We'll see. Joe, you are right. We posted about this that Netflix today announced they had almost 5 million subscribers to their ad-supported tier. Not bad for launching late last year. All right. Is Plex TV? So Plex is a very good service to manage your content, but they also have a free streaming service. I would highly recommend that you do look into going out there and checking out Plex TV. It's a free streaming ad support service like the Pluto and Roku, etc. So what's my thoughts on the new Mac service? Oop, I'm sorry, I just nailed my microphone. I'm going to reserve judgment until I play with it. But so far, I like what they're doing. I like how they're bringing a ton of content. It's going to be the same price as HBO Max is now, but with tons more content. Very light ad load. A lot of cool features. I don't like how they're putting the 4K at the $20 price point. That's a mistake, I think. I think the $15 would be, but they're trying to find ways to get more money. We'll see what happens with it. But I do believe, excuse me, that there's a lot to like about Max. We'll see how it plays out, though. I have to get my hands on it. Everything sounds good in PR until you actually get your hands on it sometimes. Do I know of any special deals that the Max service will offer when it launches? Not at this moment. We'll keep an eye if there are any specials. We'll have full coverage of Cord Cutters news. Will Cricket customers still get Max? From my understanding at this time, as long as you don't change your plans, all those continue. We'll have to wait and see how it works out. NYC, thank you for that $4.99. I really do appreciate the support. Every little bit helps us a lot. I saw ABC's fall schedule. Even though it's tailored around the WGA strike, I do feel this could be their future with some tweaks. Yeah, a lot of reality programming, a lot of reruns. Definitely seems like ABC, Disney, and others are hunkering down for what could be a long Writers Guild of America strike. That they're not anticipating, I think, that this will be done in time, that they won't have to worry about that in the future. And again, NYC, thanks for that $5. But yeah, I do fully suspect that we may be dealing with a long strike here by the Writers Guild. We have no news. Google has been very close-mouthed recently about all things YouTube TV subscriber numbers. It's rumored that they now have over 6 million subscribers. We'll see how that all works out. But they are reportedly the only live TV streaming service that gained subscribers in the first quarter of 2023. We'll see how that all plays out. For my understanding, if you currently have an AT&T plan that includes HBO Max, you will get Max. We have not been told anything different, and that's what I've been told from people out there that apparently know what they're talking about. We'll see. But if you change your plans with AT&T, you will lose free HBO Max and Max. All right. Yes, last time we had a strike, it did kill a lot of shows, which is really sad. It almost killed Babylon or Battlestar Galactica. I'm really happy it did not. I'm happy we got the final season, even though I kind of wish the ending was a little different. I have grown to really appreciate it. But I'll be honest, the Writer Guild of America is making a lot of demands, and that would significantly raise the number of writers you have to have on each show, and would prevent, for example, Babylon 5. The creator of Babylon 5 wrote most of the season all by himself. He did it all by himself with it. And under the new rules, he would not be able to basically write an entire season by himself as a creator anymore. So there's that there. There's the higher pay. There's the needing to hire more writers per show. Of course, basically what a lot of networks are like, we don't want any changes at all. I think in the reality is they're so far apart, each side's going to have to come to the middle. Each side's going to have to give for the Writer Guild of America and networks. Now, the question is, who gives how much? That's kind of always the thing with negotiations. Do networks come farther, or does the Writer Guild of America come farther? I don't think either side is in a position to say, we're going to get everything we want out of this. And that's why you call it a negotiation, right? That you go out there and you negotiate with these two. They really do need, though, at some point to agree to come into the middle. And neither side at this moment seems to be willing to do that. Not Writer Guild of America, not the networks. So we'll see what happens. So it would not surprise me at all if this is a long, long strike. What's my favorite Pluto TV channel right now? Honestly, I've been really enjoying the classic Bob Barker year, Price is Right. Sometimes when I just want something on the background as I'm doing stuff, I've been watching that. Kind of makes you feel old a little bit because it's like I may have watched this live and it looks like it was aired in the 50s. We'll see. So everybody want to feel old real quick. All right. If Back to the Future was shot today and Marty McFly would go back the same amount of years as from when Back to the Future was recorded the first time, they would go back to the early 1990s. Yes, they would go back to the early 1990s. Do you feel old now? Now, on the flip side, the new Wonder Year reboot, I think they missed the boat. Now, they set the new Wonder Years reboot in the same time as the original Wonder Years. And the problem, I think, with that is it loses connection to a lot of the people who watch the show or watching the show. When the Wonder Years aired, I think one of the reasons it was so successful is it was, basically my parents were watching their childhood, right? And I think if the Wonder Years had put themselves in the late 80s, early 90s right now, I think it would have been more successful because when people like me watch it, it would resonate more. That would be my childhood I'm watching in the late 80s, early 90s, for example. All those people in their 40s and 50s could look at that and say, yeah, I remember that time. I could place myself in their footprints with that. I think setting it back in the same time zone as the original one was a mistake. We'll see. That's my personal opinion. Any news on Battlestar Galactica reboot for Peacock? No, they've gone very silent on that. And they've had some writers, developers, or production people. I don't know. There's been a lot of people bailing on that project. We'll see. I hope it happens. I love Battlestar Galactica. I love the original. I love the reboot. I love the movies that came out after. I love a movie. I love a new TV show. I really do hope that they make something happen there with it. I do agree with you, Dean. It does make me feel a little bit old too. I'm so glad that Gale do have rights to refuse to make regarding future content. Yeah, a lot of companies need to be more careful how they sell their rights. Eric says, I feel old. I saw the Star Wars A New Hope the night it premiered. I kind of missed, I think it's done already, but that the Star Wars Return of the Jedi came out in theaters again. I wish I had been able to see it, but we were traveling and doing stuff. All right. I do agree here. It's fun to watch, but Galactica 1981 wasn't that good of a show. The budget was too small for what it was. Favorite Freebie original? Honestly, I don't have a favorite Freebie original. I do watch Freebie, but I can't say I've watched a lot of their originals. All right. Here we go. Do I feel old now? I have to. I'm 72, dude. Well, you got me there. You got me there. So can I call you an old guy then? All right. Get those last questions in. We're going to answer questions for about 5 more minutes. I'm going to reboot my internet and go from there. Favorite freebie show is Old School Night Court. You know, one of the things, somebody asked me about Pluto TV I like. One of the things I like about Pluto TV is the on-demand 1950s classic Dragnet, the black and white version, not the colored version of Dragnet. I love Dragnet, new and old. Would love to see a new Dragnet. I know they rebooted it. I think they could reboot it again and do a better job of it. We'll see. NYC, I still remember Stargate was a big deal. It still is in my book, if you ask me. And they're coming out with a new one on Amazon Prime. Wish Sci-Fi didn't cancel it. Maybe Prime Video could revive it. So Sci-Fi canceled it for a lot of reasons, cost, etc. They wanted to create some movies. They wanted a new show, which sadly didn't work out. I actually really enjoyed Stargate Universe. I thought it was really getting its feet underneath it when it was canceled. Really too bad with that. But the new Stargate movie and TV show reportedly in the works for MGM, which is now owned by Amazon. So it's probably going to be on Amazon. Is the Buck Rogers reboot still in works? I haven't heard an update in a while. Anybody know? Do I like the original Night Court? I loved the original Night Court. I actually have not seen the reboot. I probably should give it a try. I've heard good things about it. Do I like classic Nickelodeon? You know, I was never a huge Nickelodeon person. There's a lot I did like. Double Dare, though. That was good. So, do I like the 90s show? Did not see a whole lot of it. My wife watched some. I saw a few episodes. I thought it was good. But I haven't seen a whole lot of it. My wife enjoyed it for what it was. Pluto TV is great for old shows. It actually has quite a bit of newer shows on there too, especially Paramount Originals. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap this up here. Huge thank you to everybody. I'll be back here next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. 220,000 subscribers here. Thank you. Can't believe we've added almost 30,000 subscribers in the since I bought it back in January. Really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate your support. I'll take one last question. What's the difference between Android TV and Google TV? Not a whole lot. It's under the hood. Google TV is the newer version of Android TV out there. So keep that in mind. Not a whole lot of difference. Basically the same thing. Mostly the same apps. But Google TV is the new version of Android TV. So with that said, everybody have a fantastic night. Make sure you head over to corecarsnews.com. I have a Core Cutting Today already in the can for tomorrow morning. I recorded a little while ago and uploaded. So check that out for tomorrow morning. Hope you have a fantastic day. Take care. Be safe. And thanks for your support. I'll talk to you all later. Thanks, everybody.